Brought to you by our sponsors, William Richmond Inc., Chesapeake's Bounty, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, McNellis Group Properties, Shady Lane Construction, LLC, R.E. Graves Heating and Air Conditioning, Chesapeake Plastics, Precise Systems, and G&H Jewelers. Live from the JP Weather Center, this is a Weather Alert Update. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Forecaster John Bordash with you here in the Storm Center to give you a severe weather update. We do now have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for portions of Charles and King George County. Now, this goes in effect until 3:30, so it's these areas here shaded in orange. This includes a decent chunk of Charles County. This includes La Plata, Nanjemoy, Indian Head, Passai. Is right on the cusp of including Newburgh and Islands Fresh for this storm that's going to be moving out of Virginia, moving eastward here into portions of Charles County. So any interest along 301, you probably have about a half hour or so before the storm begins to threaten that area. You can see this storm, it's been strengthening the last, probably the last hour or so, and we touched on it briefly during our last live segment, but we do now see this storm here near Quantico looking pretty well defined. We're looking at a decent hail core now developing with this system. Let's put on those estimated hail sizes with this storm. We want to get that mesh product loaded up here. And what we're seeing, and we'll just turn these icons off just quick, and we're registering hail potentially up to 1 inch in size as the storm continues to move here to the east. And we're also noting we have a decent amount of lightning with this as well. So we're now looking up to 5960 strikes during our last live update. This thunderstorm complex was only registering around 15 strikes a minute, or 15 strikes during our live coverage. So this is going to be the storm we're now going to be watching as it moves into Charles County. I'm not seeing any real indicative signs of rotation with this storm. If we switch gears a little bit with our radar programs, really kind of get in here to the storm that we're looking at, and let's give this a pause and just bring it to where we are now. You see what might try to be maybe little evidence of a hook trying to develop here, but now with the latest radar scan, that's now gone away. So not really looking at any defined areas here of rotation, but I think the biggest story here is going to be this hail core that's going to be moving right into Nanjemoy, Passai, Port Tobacco Village, Belle Alton, Popes Creek, and potentially even into the La Plata region as the storm here continues to move to the east, southeast at around 40 miles per hour. Let's switch gears back. Let's bring it back over here to radar. Let's get that warning text here. Let's get you up to date on what the National Weather Service is stating. The severe thunderstorm warning again for this orange polygon in effect until 3:30. The storm was actually moving a little slower than I had assumed, at only about 25 miles per hour. And where you see these darker colors here, this this dark red, this pink area, this is indicative of that quarter-size hail, potentially up to 1 inch in size, and those 60-mile-an-hour gusts. Damaging winds have been noted with this storm, and this storm could cause some localized power outages. Where is this going to be impacting here over the next little bit? So the locations impacted, but do not locations impacted but are not limited to are going to be Waldorf, Dale City, La Plata, Quantico, Popes Creek, Port Tobacco River, Mount Clair, Triangle, Dumfries, St. Charles, Cherry Hill, Independent Hill, Bryans Road, Potomac Heights, Pomfret, Port Tobacco Village, Garrisonville, Ironsides, Belle Alton, and Passai. The National Weather Service is not noting the potential for this storm to house any rotation, which is good news, and I don't really think is going to be the big story here today. Let's get one of these hail tracks drawn up here, and if we can get that to work, we might need to let that load for 1 second. But as it does, let's take you back over here while we let that load up a little bit. Let's take you over here to just radar while that loads. But we are seeing this storm getting close now to the Potomac River, nearing Quantico. And as we just zoom out, we see this entire disorganized cluster of storms moving to the east-southeast. So I think at least most of us will see rain. I don't know if we're all going to see severe weather today. I think that might be a little bit more of an exception than the rule when we talk about today's severe weather chances. But I think everyone should at least see some rain, and it could potentially be heavy rain. And with this thunderstorm, we are noting that we are seeing a decent amount of lightning, and that is likely because we're looking at hail. When we have hail and thunderstorms, that means that a thunderstorm is pretty tall up into the atmosphere, and when we see that happening, that's because we have hail getting tossed around throughout the entire structure of the thunderstorm. And then when the hail rests along the bottom part of the cloud base, the electrical charges kind of line up in a way with the ground where we can look at lightning, and that is the most evident when we're talking about hail, thunderstorms that have hail. So that's why I think we're looking at an increased amount of lightning here. We saw this with yesterday's storms. But let's get that storm track loaded back up here, see if we can get that working. There we go. We want to take this entire storm. We're going to take it 89, 28 to 89, so we want to take this out to 28, 89. So this would be just an estimation here of potential impact times for you. So beside this is right on your doorstep, likely moving in here over the next 5 minutes. You're likely hearing the thunder, skies are getting dark. Port Tobacco by 3:10, the Plate at 3:14, eventually getting out towards Hughesville and Charlotte Hall by about 3:30, 3:45. So do keep that in mind as the storm continues to move eastward. It would then travel, continuing to go into parts of northern St. Mary's, parts of Calvert County as well over the next hour or so. This isn't too strong of a storm. It is meeting severe criteria, though, and we are seeing this begin to push in to portions of Charles County right now. So no other weather warnings are in effect, no weather watches are in effect anywhere else in our region right now. I see one question asking about Leonardtown, one of those in my backyard questions. Again, we might see this rain over the next hour or two. That's kind of been the forecast the last couple of hours. We're going to see this move in. Someone else asking about Prince Frederick. Over the next hour or two, we're going to see rain. And that's really going to be the case, I think, for much of the region, whether you're in Charles County or St. Mary's or Calvert. Over the next 1 or 2 hours, we'll see this kind of disorganized line. And this isn't too well put together. It's not like yesterday's line, but this disorganized line of thunderstorms moving into our region. Barely reaching severe limits. This won't be like last night, I don't think. There is a lot of lightning with this, but with the southern portion of this, but I don't think that this is going to be something that causes too much damage. Yesterday, we saw with our thunderstorms that moved through a swath of over 200 miles of wind damage from that, stretching from Blacksburg, Virginia, right here into southern Maryland. So again, over the next 1 or 2 hours, I think that's when most everyone within that time frame will see this. It should be out of here by 5, 6 o'clock, maybe even a little bit before then. And then we start to cool down, dry out this evening. We will see the winds pick up as the cold front moves out. But this right here, where we see these storms, this is right up along that cold front that's moving through. So we're going to see that those conditions change a little bit as that moves through. But we do have that severe thunderstorm warning. Let's come back into it. Let's regroup a little bit. The severe thunderstorm warning, this orange polygon here, for parts of Charles County. This does include White Plains, La Plata, Indian Head, Nanjemoy, and we actually even see, and it makes me think maybe radar could be a little delayed here, clustering of lightning out ahead of the storm. So just because the storm hasn't moved into your neck of the woods, lightning has the ability to strike up to 10 miles out from a storm. So do keep that in mind as these storms move in. That you don't need to be seeing you don't need to be in the middle of a thunderstorm to get lightning. And I see Carol is saying it's dumping in Akaki, and I would believe that. And just taking a look at our velocity scan here, this allows us to see if we have winds with these storms, how strong they are, and in what direction they're moving. I'm not seeing any well-defined signatures right now of rotation, which is good news. But what Carol was saying, it's dumping in Akaki, we can see that. We have this entire little line here now of storms, and we can actually get that drawn on here. It's this entire little line right here. It's not that well organized. It's not overly strong. But generally moving here east, southeast. And I see different Carol now. Storm brewing in the distance in Leonardtown. Yeah, and we do see that we have another storm getting ready to move off the northern tip of King George right into Newburgh, moving into parts of St. Mary's County eventually. Let's get that telestration off there. And that would be probably what you're seeing with this little guy out here. But we have another little storm trying to develop out ahead of our disorganized line, moving through Hughesville, parts of Eagle Harbor. This would eventually be moving into parts of central Cowra County here over the next, let's call it the next 30 minutes or so. So really, over the next 1 or 2 hours, we're going to be talking about that potential for some nasty weather to move in. It won't be like yesterday, I don't think. I think we're going to be a little bit more well put together, and these are they're moving a little quicker, and these should be, again, out of here. I really think much of the evening rush hour by about 5 o'clock or so, we should be looking fine. What I do want to do quickly is see if we can't just get our chart cameras back up from MDOT, see if we can take a live look into where some of these storms are hitting. So let's see quick if we can get some of our traffic cameras loaded up here, and we can take this over here, scene 4, while that loads. See what our Indian Head camera is able to show us. If it's able to show us much of anything. And it might not. We'll take a look at the Brandywine camera. Yeah, I mean, Brandywine looking all right now. If we take a look over here towards 301, that would be the water we would like to see. Let's get right into Newburgh. Yeah, over here towards Newburgh, that 301 bridge, you can see a darkening of the skies. Over here towards the Harry Nice Bridge. And if we take you back over here towards Radar, you can see that would be where the 301 bridge is. You can see right here Newburgh going into Dahlgren. You can see where we're looking at some of that heavier rain out ahead of our main severe thunderstorm moving into portions of Charles County as well. I did want to see, though, if we could get that Indian Head camera loaded up, because that might be able to show us, yeah. And you can actually maybe even see a little bit of hail with that now. Out here in Indian Head, this would be 344 at 244. You can see big raindrops. We can see, I would assume, even probably a little bit of hail. You can see those winds blowing the rain all around out here towards Nanjemoyne. And when we take you back over here towards Radar, that lines up well with where Nanjemoyne is right here. That's right over, we have this little pink core here. That is where that camera is located. Let's take you over towards our mesh product, see if we have any hail with this system. And we're still registering hail size with this up to over an inch, probably an inch and a quarter with this, as the storm here continues to move to the north and east, and it will continue to do so, I think, for the next little bit. It hasn't really lost much of its strength by any stretch of the imagination. Let's get a new storm track loaded up on this bad boy, see what we're able to get together here. We want to take this 30 at 98. So that's a little bit further south than earlier than we had initially expected it to go. But on that type of a track, this would lead this storm eventually moving into the Plata in about the next 10 minutes or so. I'm sure you're seeing the dark skies off in the distance. Island Fresh by about 3:20, Mechanicsville by about just after 3:30 or so, eventually getting into Morganza, and then getting near Brooms Island by about 3:45. So this is what we're going to continue to watch as this storm continues to push through portions of the region. We also have a northern extent to this storm as well that extends up into PG County, moving through Clinton, getting near Brandywine, getting near Waldorf as well. This is also moving here to the south and east. So if we get that storm track loaded up just for the entire line, we want to take that 30 at 98, 30 at 98. This would be, generally speaking, where we're looking at for these storms here as they push this disorganized line, pushing into Waldorf at 10:58, pushing into La Plata 3:03. So we're getting there just about now, getting into Sunderland and Huntingtown by about 3:10, 3:15, and then this main line pushing into Prince Frederick by about 3:30. And we do note we have additional storm development out ahead of it. Nothing too crazy, but a little something pushing here through Eagle Harbor into into Prince Frederick, north of the Benedict Bridge. So I would be interested if we come back here to our chart cameras. Let's take a look over that Benedict Bridge camera. We might be able to see that storm. And you can see a little bit of cloud development here just to the north of where the Benedict Bridge would be going there into portions of Prince Frederick. And I would assume probably on our Brandywine camera, yeah, you can see now we're looking at a little bit of hail, some rain, some heavy rain as well as these storms push here up along 301 as we continue northward here into portions of our region as these storms begin to push in. Here, 301 at 5, you can just see those dark skies up here, that heavy rain causing a little bit of a slower traffic, some slower traffic. But so yeah, that's what I think we're going to continue to watch throughout the next couple hours. These storms, not overly strong, but they definitely will impact travel a little bit as you begin to venture out. And this is a look at that 301 bridge looking out towards Virginia. Yesterday when we were looking at this camera, you couldn't even see the crest part of the bridge here, so we're able to see that now. I see Linda is saying that it's dark in Owings. And yeah, up here towards let me switches over here, up here towards Owings. Yeah, back towards Brandywine, I'm sure you're beginning to see these this line of storms beginning to get near you, and it would look like we're even looking at a little bit of hail. Yeah, with this northern part of the system here, we can see that by our coloring here. Doesn't look too ominous, but this does indicate to us hail over ½ inch in diameter beginning to move south and east just out the Brandywine as this entire disorganized line continues to kind of get its act together, trying to at least. But we're still rolling with that. Only one severe thunderstorm warning. But again, we have rain moving into Prince Frederick. We have an additional storm down to the south, getting into the Newburgh area here, right along 301. And that would eventually be pushing into Chaptico over about the next, let's call it the next 20 minutes or so. But let's just get that entire storm track loaded up again so I can get a post put up over to our social media channels. And again, if you all have been with us long enough, you would know, again, one-man show here, so a little bit quiet as this, as I get the post put together. But let me look at some of your comments. Rick is saying nice and sunny in Lexington Park, and Mary's reporting some hail out towards Dangemoine, and we can definitely see that there on radar with those enhanced color returns really centered there over the panhandle of Prince George's County, or Charles County, rather. So let's get this radar post up. It is 3:02 p.m. Let's see, better organized. This line move southeastward through the next 1 to 2 hours. Gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour. Hail and lightning is possible with this. Move indoors as these storms near. Yeah, and right now, we just got an update to that severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll take a look back at that as these posts get put up on Facebook and over on Twitter. Let's get the latest storm track loaded up from the National Weather Service with our line. Let's get my storm track turned off. And yeah, this is the core of the hail here, just to the north of the actual town label of Nanjemoine here, moving to the southeast, so moving into Allen, Freshman, Mechanicsville, Morganza, Chaptico here, just north of Newburgh. Over the next half hour or so, the National Weather Service will continue the severe thunderstorm warning, though, until 3:30. And I see Patricia saying, I'm glad they canceled the T-ball game for tonight. And I don't know if this will really linger into tonight. I think after about 5, 6 o'clock, this should really be pushing out. It'll, obviously, I mean, if you're out there on the baseball or softball diamonds, make the ground a tad wet, but nothing too bad. Let's take a look back over here at our velocity, see if we're noticing any forms of rotation with these storms, and I'm still not seeing that at all with these, which is good news. What we are noting, though, is the gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour, so we kind of have we have several different areas we're watching. 3 different distinct hail cores I'm noticing as well. We have one down here with our Newburgh storm. We have one that's just moved through Nanjemoy, and one that's just moved south here of Brandywine. All of these here moving to the southeast gradually. So if you're down towards St. Mary's County or Calvert County, you're saying not much is going on right now. Well, these are eventually going to be moving in over the next hour or so. Anyone know if you can go fishing in Lexington Park, and I would probably hold off on that for the time being right now. With these storms moving, and these storms can kind of move in what seems to be almost all of a sudden, and the winds will always precede these storms with the downdrafts with these systems. So I would probably hold off on any water activity for the next little bit. Nancy says just logged in. Is Lexington Park going to get hit again this afternoon and evening? And this gradual line of storms here, again, extending really from about Tracy's Landing up here towards portions of the PG and Arundel County line down through Fredericksburg. This is all moving south and east, so eventually this will be moving into your neck of the woods as well. Down towards Lexington Park, I'd say probably in about an hour or so. But what I am noting a lot with these systems is that we're seeing, with these storms rather, we're seeing the lightning kind of precede this a little bit, and we're seeing that this lightning out here is really moving out ahead of the system as it continues to do so. And I am noticing again with this southern end here, and this is why I've been checking with the rotation velocity scan, is because we're looking at the warmer air inflow into the system. The radar presentation would suggest, at least in maybe the upper levels of the atmosphere, we're looking at a little bit of at least just the winds interacting with each other. Maybe not necessarily rotation, but it'll be something to watch. But this isn't the biggest story today, the rotation. I think that the biggest concern today with these systems would be the gusty wind and the hail, and with the hail comes lightning. Thomas wants to know what the possibility / timeline for the Eastern Shore, Dorchester County would be. So over towards Dorchester County, that would very much rely on these storms to hold together. And in Dorchester County, it would really depend on where you are. I would say by and large for much of Dorchester County out here towards Cambridge, Hurlock, Vienna, we're likely talking about sometime in about 2 or 3 hours or so. These storms aren't moving overly fast, but they're gradually moving. So I would expect that probably by about 5 o'clock or so out that way through much of our local region here in southern Maryland. Likely going to be over the next 1 to 2 hours as this pushes through. But we'll take a look back over here at our chart cameras, see if we're able to see anything on these cameras. Let's take you over here. So yeah, over here at 301 bridge, you can see that heavy rain really beginning to fall. I think I just paused that. You can see the darkening of the skies. If we take a look over here towards that Benedict Bridge camera, yeah, you can see those darker skies out here. We can see some people out and about trying to maybe, I don't know, enjoy the beach a little bit here on the Patuxent River. That Indian Head camera, I would assume, is probably looking a little bit better. It is, again. These storms won't last too long, probably about 15 to 30 minutes as they push through. Up towards our Brandywine camera, where we just saw all of that rain move through, you can see what looks to be at least maybe a little bit of ponding on the roadway there over towards Brandywine. I want to get this camera. There we go. Yeah, you can see it. We've seen heavy rain move through this region, so we'll continue to watch this. Jessica wants to know if we're talking about a tornado warning. As of right now, I do not believe that we are, Jessica. We have no actual tornado warnings right now. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect, though. We note that because we have an orange polygon, which you see up here, indicate that represents a severe thunderstorm warning. Only the pink polygon would represent a tornado warning. And we're not really looking at any consistent signs of rotation with this system as well. Nothing that looks too well defined at the moment. We'll see if that changes. What I'm noticing here on our storm velocity, our storm relative velocity, is that what we are seeing is maybe, again, like we were saying earlier, the warm air inflow into the storm potentially, let me show you the way that this would be working. This screen would indicate that we have winds coming in towards the radar. Let's get that illustration back up here. Would indicate some winds trying to come in like this, while these winds are coming out like this. And this is in probably the uppermost level. So we're not looking at any one concise area rotation right now, just the winds interacting with each other. And we'll see if in this zone they're able to interact more. My guess is that if they do, it's going to take a little bit of time as this storm tries to get a little bit better organized. But you can see here on the radar scan how that presents itself here on the radar, where you have the cooler, rain-wrapped air wrapping around, and then the warmer air kind of trying to wrap in there. So that's what I think we're going to continue to watch here over the next little bit. Let's clear that off. Let's finish up the illustration brush. And as we zoom out here, what we're going to be noting is that we're going to continue to look at heavy rain pushing into the region. And again, this line, it's not overly organized. It's not going to be producing consistent severe weather across the region. But as this continues to push south and east, you will note for about 15 or 30 minutes as this line pushes through that we're going to be looking at some nasty weather briefly moving through. We do have that storm that initially fired up near the northern tip of King George County, pushing south and east now through Newburgh, now beginning to move into Chaptico, Bushwood, that northwestern portion of St. Mary's County. We're also noting that the northern extent of this line that is still looks to be, to me at least, producing a little bit of hail. Yeah, we note that with these colors here, I know they're light and kind of hard to see, so I'll turn off the warning quick. You can see that little bit of a hail core now moving closer towards Islands Fresh, and maybe a little bit of hail here getting near lower Marlborough over the next little bit. But let's turn those warnings back on. Let's get us back to regular radar. And again, we can note that with the way that these storms are, how they've come together, pushing south and east over the next 1 to 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, this system out here towards Charles County near La Plata looks to be the one that has really kind of taken precedent with this line. It's the one that's kind of hogging up a lot of the storm energy as it pushes just south of La Plata. And our hail indicator here is indicating hail up to 1 inch here south of La Plata. And we'll double check that velocity scan. I'm always going to be coming back to it just to check that rotation potential, see if we're monitoring that at all. And I'm not seeing, again, maybe in the uppermost levels, potentially here getting near Islands Fresh, but no current tornado warnings. Any rotation, likely it's only the earliest signs. Shannon says dark clouds are coming out of Golden Beach, and yeah, Golden Beach, you have a big storm, not a big storm, but a little bit of a storm just to the south of you. That's going to be pushing Chaptico, Loveville, just south of Mechanicsville. This main line, though, if you're looking to the north, will be moving in over the next little bit. Tammy wants to know what's going on in Prince Frederick, and again, I'm sure you're seeing that line north and west of you, pushing south and east. And for many of us, this line is to the north and west. And it's really only this southern part of the line where the hail has been the most consistent, where we're looking at consistent lightning as well. Plenty of lightning even out ahead of the storm as this continues to push through. My assumption is that if we double check those chart cameras again, let's zoom this out, take it back down here towards the 301 bridge. You can see those darkening skies here. And we are noting that we're beginning to see some rain move in as well. So we'll continue to watch this over the next little bit. Taking a look at that Benedict Bridge camera. Again, you see the dark clouds in the distance, but I mean, these people are clearly out here with no issue. And it seems like maybe they're trying to get some pictures or something set up. I'm not too sure. That looks to be the case. So, but over towards Indian Head, where these storms were at one point their strongest, we're now looking at clearing conditions. And over towards Brandywine, beginning to clear things up as well. So we'll continue just to watch this over the next little bit as these storms continue to push you to the north and to the south and east. What's your Port Tobacco expect? Port Tobacco, you're right in the midst of it right now. I mean, you're pretty much seeing all that there is to see. You're seeing the heavy rain, likely seeing hail, having the thunder and lightning move through. This should clear you in about the next 30 minutes. Let's call it that. As these storms continue here to push south and east, and I would assume we'll probably get an update to the severe thunderstorm warning, likely probably extended for more of our region in the next little bit. That would be my assumption at least. But if we put on a storm track with this, let's get that tracking thrown up. Let's get the line together. And we're pushing, still at 30 miles an hour to the south and east. Again, as that continues to do so, this is going to be pushing into Sunderland 317. You're probably already seeing the rain pushing in now. Huntingtown 322, so you have maybe about 5-10 minutes before this really begins to push in. Prince Frederick by about 3:30, down towards Lusby by about 4 o'clock. So in about the next half hour, 45 minutes, expect that to be pushing in down towards Solomon's 404, and then I question about Dorchester County over towards Cambridge, about 409 for you, given the current storm track. And then if we just take a look at this additional storm that's kind of run out ahead, that's moved through Newburgh, also moving at about 30 miles an hour. That'll be pushing through this additional southern part of the line into Chapter Code 315, Leonardtown, just after 3:30, pushing into Solomon's by about 4 o'clock as well. So I would assume that we'll see a little bit more of cohesiveness to this line instead of this storm just out ahead of it as this continues to move south and east. Heather's saying it's about to hit La Plata. Winds have picked up, no rain yet, thunder too. That surprises me that in La Plata you're not seeing much now. I guess if you're a little further out, closer towards Shrewsbury, that makes sense. Let's see, rain just started on Route 6, south of Belle Alton and Newton Road. Thank you for that report. Rachel wants to know about Dunkirk, and Crystal says, geez, another storm. Yes. And on up towards Dunkirk right now. You've seen the heavy rain push through, Rachel, and I'm sure that you've seen a little bit of hail and probably some lightning off in the distance as well. The worst of it is now just pushed to the south of you. Granted, you're probably still looking at moderate rain pushing in, but as this continues to push south and east, you'll see clearing conditions. Behind this line, there isn't much else going on behind it. So I would assume that once this moves through, you'll be all good to go. Mary's saying it's pouring and windy in La Plata, and that doesn't surprise me. And I'm going to come back down here, and I know you all know what I'm about to do. Let's take a look at this storm velocity again. Just taking a check to make sure we're not looking at any rotation. And I'm not seeing any consistent signs of rotation. If anything, it's in the uppermost levels of the atmosphere. Nothing too ominous at the moment. Just lots of lightning and lots of hail as this continues to push through. And Melissa says she likes my tie. Thank you. I've had this tie for ages, actually. It was one of the first ties I ever got. If we take a look, though, I want to take a look back at that mesh, the estimated hail size. Yeah, I mean, we're still estimating. Getting towards Island Fresh, just up to La Plata, hail potentially up to 2 inches here now as it continues to push south and east. So get ready for that. Charlotte Hall, Mechanicsville, Morganza, Chapter-Cole, Loveville, down there, Route 5, Route 235, the northern portions of that, really north of Loveville. Get ready for, if anything, heavy rain and probably hail up to 1 inch in size. That's what I would be assuming with this right now. The lightning count has come down a little bit, which is good news. Now down to 27 strikes with the main core of this line. But if you're over towards Chapter-Cole, you're probably already seeing rain from a different part of this system as it pushes south and east. So do keep that in mind. I mean, this entire line here, continuing to push south and east. And what I do want to take a quick look at is our social media channels to see if we have any new updates at all from people watching the storm, seeing what's coming in. Yeah, I mean, we're getting some pictures in right now. If I bring this over, let's just bring you to this. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so, I mean, we're noting this is Charlotte Hall submitted here from TJ Dixon. You're seeing a little bit of a little bit of hail, some darkening skies moving in. And we do now have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for a large chunk of our coverage zone now here in portions of Charles County, St. Mary's County, Calvert County until 4 o'clock. We were just talking about this, and sure enough, this has happened. So another reason you're going to want to stay with JB Weather here for the latest information to keep you one step ahead of the storm. And we're going to continue to watch as these storms push into the region. So again, brand new severe thunderstorm warning here for that yellow polygon we're seeing. And this is, again, Calvert, Charles, St. Mary's County here, up until 4 o'clock. Let me get this uploaded to Facebook and Twitter, get those posts refined so we have so these are a bit better for us. Give me 1 second while I get that together. Let's see, the storm's history cruise heavy rain. Move indoors now. Okay, we're going to save that. Again, that warning is now up until 4 o'clock for you. Let's make sure that that's up on Twitter as well. Awesome. We are all good to go there, it looks like. Let's bring it over here. Let's retouch base here. Let's kind of regather ourselves. Stephanie says North of Hollywood. Right now, everything is north of Hollywood, but I mean, you're now in the severe thunderstorm warning as well, Stephanie. Kelly says, I work in Alexandria near Mount Vernon, and it was a huge downpour and some thunder and lightning, but it went through pretty fast. And yeah, Karen's saying she just got the call for the severe thunderstorm warning. So again, it's for this yellow polygon here, for this southern edge of these storms. We know a decent amount of lightning here moving into the island's fresh area, really kind of being the focal point right now. Some of the heaviest rain, the lightning, that hail we were talking about. Let's take another look here at that hail core. And we're noting potentially 2 areas of hail. We're noting hail potentially up to 1 inch in diameter. That's what I'm checking here. That's what this represents. Let's see, Stephanie saying California's about to get hammered, just tuning in. California is included in the warning, albeit just barely right there on the line. And this will be moving through over the next hour, so by about 4 o'clock. Let's get that National Weather Service track loaded up here. And this kind of gives you an idea of what we're talking about with timing. Moving into Allen's Fresh 321, moving into Loveville 344, moving into Leslie by about 4 o'clock, moving into Lexington Park 403, as this continues to push south and east here. And I would expect, I mean, more of this warning to end up taking up the rest of, Calvert County, St. Mary's County there, up through the bay. And yeah, Timothy, that's that would be what's in the warning text. Cindy saying St. Mary's City, you're not included in the warning right now. St. Mary's City down here, and there we go, pops up. You're not included in the warning right now. I'm sure you will see rain as well. You might not see the worst part of this storm, but we will be watching that potential for you to see some gusty winds as these storms move through. But what we're noting here with our severe thunderstorm warning, and Timothy says it's going to miss Leonardtown. That's not the case. Leonardtown is included in the warning. Just got to take a look at the map here. But what we are noting is that this entire line here, pushing south and east, decent amount of lightning as well. If we get a track put on here for the entire line of the storm, just get updated timing here for you. And this is the main line. We want to note 31 miles an hour, 98. Let's just do it there. Yeah, so this is telling us pushing into these regions here over the next hour or so. Kelly wants to know about Hughesville. Hughesville isn't, well, I guess not technically included in the warning, but you are also seeing that heavy rain push in as well. Yeah, and even with this additional storm that's been running out ahead of the main line, we're now noticing a little bit of lightning as this pushes into Chaptico. Wind and rain in Faulkner. Thank you, Kevin, for that report. Let's take a look just back at our rotation. I just want to continue to make sure we're keeping an eye on that. And I'm not seeing any concise areas of rotation with this at all. We're just looking at just some gusty winds indeed with this as this line continues to push south and east here. Really, I mean, it's really kind of come together. Initially, we weren't looking at an organized line, and now we've seen that kind of take space here. And this is kind of what we've been watching that potential for. We have a lot of atmospheric energy above our heads for these storms to tap into, and we are indeed seeing them clearly tap into this. If you're up towards Prince Frederick, Huntingtown, I mean, you're beginning to see this rain moving, especially out here towards the Huntingtown area. We're likely probably seeing some hail beginning to move into your neck of the woods, as well as Chesapeake Beach, Willows. And looks like our radar is trying to paint hail a little bit further south and east, but it wouldn't surprise me to see hail in this region as well. Typically, where you get these dark reds, those maroon colors, these pink colors, that would be indicative of some hail. Stephanie says, no rotation, please. And thankfully, we're not really talking about too much rotation today with these systems. The biggest story is going to be the damaging wind threat from straight line winds, if anything, and then that hail threat as well. And storms continuing to move south and east here. And now would be a good time to take a look at those chart cameras again. It really helps us to get a good, concise look here at our at what we're dealing with as these storms continue to push through. Taking a look at that Benedict camera. Yeah, I mean, you can see darkening skies definitely over towards Chesapeake Beach. I'm sure we're going to see rain beginning to fall out this way. If we take a look down towards the Leonardtown, I'm not sure we'll be able to... Oh, yeah, you can see the dark skies out here in the distance for you. See what we're looking at over towards Newburgh. You can see the lightning of the clouds. We're clearing conditions beginning to move in as these storms continue to push south and eastward. I'm taking it back over here towards radar. Actually, let's take a look at this version of radar here. This will really allow us to get really more of an in-depth view. I'm going to take a look at the potential hail core with this. So we're in real time, and I think I just need to come over here. In real time, we're going to go ahead and slice through the storm. You're going to see a line pop up. This is me slicing through the storm, taking a look up in the air of what we're looking at, and what you can see here as we zoom in a little bit. What we're noting here is that we're looking at the thunderstorm vertically. So this storm is reaching up to about 30,000 feet into the air. So down here would be where you see my mouse. This is down here at the surface. Up here it's up into the atmosphere. And what we're noting is that we're seeing these dots of pink further up into the atmosphere. That is indicative of that hail getting tossed around in the middle levels of the atmosphere. And that's what's producing that bigger hail, that 1-inch size hail, and this is what's helping to contribute to the lightning. As we just move through, I mean, you can see elevated hail core here, up to 10 to 20,000 feet up into the air. We can see that with this entire line that, yeah, I mean, you can clearly see that here, that hail is definitely elevated up a little bit. Let's see, John is saying join late time frame for Southern St. Mary's. We'll touch on that in a second. I sure wish you had an app that could be downloaded onto the phone. Yeah, I wish to as well. We're working on that. We'll get there one day. Let's take a look back over here at that time, and then let's get back on track here. Let's get a whole holistic look here at this. Let's track these storms. New radar scan just came in, which is great. And we'll just do the entire outward edge of this line, moving at about 31 miles an hour. This would be an idea about timing here for you, and this is actually going to be a great graphic to get posted up onto our social media channels. So let me get that posted up. You can see the timing estimates there. So let me get, my apologies for that. Apparently it is maintenance day in the apartment complex. Here's a look at estimated impact times as our severe storms push southeastward through the region. Moving towards as this line has a history of producing nasty weather. Alright, let's get that posted up over to Twitter, and then we'll kind of dive more into these, into this timing here. Post that, and that's loading up on Facebook. So yeah, I mean, you can see here, Prince Frederick really knocking on your door right now. Moving into Leonardtown, 335, Lusby, 345, Solomon's, 350, getting into Lexington Park, 353, and this town list really just kind of grabs the, the couple biggest town names there are. But down here towards Southern St. Mary's County, you're talking about the next 30-40 minutes. We're talking generally by about 4 o'clock down towards Piney Point, Dameron, and then closer towards about 4:10, 4:20 down towards Scotland and Ridge, that southern portion of the line. Let's see. Oh, Mike's in a pick from Newmarket. Awesome. I'll make sure to take a look at that once we're done here. Let's get this track loaded off here. And yeah, I mean, I would expect that really what we're seeing is that this organized, how the line was disorganized earlier. We had one storm running out ahead of the main line. What we're seeing now is that they're trying to come together at least a little bit more cohesion there as this entire line continues to push here to the south and east. Hail, I mean, up to an inch if not a little bit bigger. Take a look back at that mesh product, see the type of hail size we're looking at, and we can see that main hail core here beginning to push into the mechanical area, getting up to about an inch in size down this way, and we're not really looking at hail north of there, at least not being picked up here by the radar. But we are seeing this amount of lightning, and again, potentially up to half-inch sized hail moving in. Rebecca says she's just heard thunder in Leonardtown, and I believe that. We just got a brand new lightning strike here, getting closer towards the Leonardtown region in St. Mary's County. Storms continuing to push south and east. I mean, temperatures are definitely warm. Conditions are ripe for these storms to continue to intensify. We're registering up near 80 degrees in parts of our region, 82 at Pax River, 79 Leonardtown, but back where these storms have already cleared now, sitting at 70 over towards Quantico and further north and west, getting now down into the 60s. So once these push through, I think we're going to be kicking out the warm, humid air, at least for the next week or so, and I think we'll definitely see cooler weather work into the region. But yeah, we're seeing the heaviest rain beginning to now push through southern PG, kind of getting into Calvert, kind of getting into the Hughesville area, the Benedict area. Lydia's reporting rain in Clements, just heard thunder in Leonardtown, Rebecca says. Got dark in French I assume that means to say Prince Frederick. I would assume there, Isabel. And I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, with the way that the radar's presenting itself. Now, if you're up towards Dunkirk, I mean, the rain just pushed in, and now you're beginning to see clearing skies. This won't be a storm that lasts all that long. This will pretty much be in and out. It'll be out as quick as it moved in. Yeah, and you can really just see how these two portions of the land have really just kind of worked together. Yeah, Saturday the humidity will be headed out. Rain is steady but slowing down in Hughesville. And yeah, you'll get the initial push of wind, the heavy rain, maybe some lightning as well. But behind it will be good to go. Megan wants to know if less people will get hit. I mean, I think it's suffice to say the answer to that question would be yes, taking a look here at the radar picture. I mean, parts of Leslie are included in that severe thunderstorm warning, and this will continue to move through as well. I believe we just got an update to the severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see, so the severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect till 4 o'clock, northwestern St. Mary's County, southwestern Calvert County, and east central Charles County at 3:30. So yeah, this just got updated. A severe thunderstorm was located. Sorry, I just got a new weather alert on my phone. Severe thunderstorm was located near Golden Beach, or 8 miles southwest of Howling Point, moving east at 40 miles an hour. The main hazards again: 60-mile-an-hour winds and hail up to an inch in size. These damaging winds will cause some trees and large branches to fall. These could injure those outdoors as well as damage homes and vehicles. So you're going to want to move inside. Locations impacted include but are not limited to Leonardtown, Greenwell State Park, St. Leonard Creek, Sheridan Point, California, Golden Beach, Hollywood, St. Leonard, Wicomico, Hughesville, Long Beach, Mechanicsville, Charlotte Hall, Clemens, Morganza, Hillville, Chaptico, Sandgates, Sodderly, and Tin Top Hill. The National Weather Service still is not really noting the potential rotation with this, which I would agree with. I don't see any concise areas, any one specific location when we're looking at rotation right now. And yeah, we're really not seeing that too well. What we are seeing though are that winds are really beginning to gust out. Taking a look at our downdraft gust potential here, we're noting winds up to 50, 60 miles an hour with these storms as they continue to push to the south and east here. Again, this will gradually work through much of the region. And I'm sure if we take a look now back over at these chart cameras here, let's turn you over here. Let's take a look at that Benedict camera. I'm sure that would show, yeah, we're looking at some rain moving, and you can see the camera wobbling a little bit. Taking a look down towards the Leonardtown camera, we're not looking at rain pushing into Leonardtown yet. We are seeing some darkening skies though, and I'm not sure we would see anything too. Yeah, this is a look at the Thomas Johnson Bridge camera. It looks like a typical summer day, and you can even see some lightning or some some sun trying to peek through the clouds there. Yeah, I mean, here on the California camera, you can see we have, this is looking northward here. You can see some of those darkening clouds back off into the distance. And just kind of taking a look at some of our cameras here. Yeah, I mean, through much of southern St. Mary's right now, it looks pretty clear. Chesapeake Beach, I'm sure we're still seeing a little bit of rain on that camera. But if we get back towards Indian Head, we've already cleared up. Over towards Brandywine, we're not looking at rain falling right now. So we just kind of got to get through this initial line that's moving at a pretty decent clip. Mary says that the wind is crazy, and so is the rain. Jennifer, I left my creaking windows open in the house. Let's see. Getting dark in Lettertown, and yeah, I would 100% believe that. Let's take it back over here. And we are noting lightning with these storms as well. And this, as these two storms have tried to come together here, we're not looking at them to be looking as organized as they were earlier. And I think it'll probably be a little bit easier for us to my apologies. I believe it will probably be a little bit easier for us to take a look at one of our different radar systems and take a look just at the evolution of this line. You can see as it's pushed through, looked a little bit more, it looked definitely more put together, but as it's pushed south and eastward, we've seen these storms, as they've emerged, kind of maybe lose their structure a little bit. I love that. Yeah, but down here towards the Bushwood area, I see, I saw someone's comment, Kelly, about the skies just opened up in Bushwood. Rain and wind in Chaptico. Yeah, in Chaptico, you're really kind of dealing with it right now, right? Kind of in the middle of that. Raining hard in Prince Frederick. What is that? That is a power tool. They are replacing aspects of the bathroom next door. I wish it was that simple, Kelly. Unfortunately, it is not, though. But we'll work around it. You all can still see what we're looking at. Question from Dawn about if Lesbie's going to see much going on. Yeah, I mean, this is getting ready to move in just now. And we're looking at this heavy rain really kind of focusing right now. Mechanicsville, Morganza, Loveville, now getting into Leonardtown. So I would assume taking a look back at that Leonardtown camera, we would probably see something. Let me take a look quickly. Actually, no, not much going on there. But we'll continue to keep an eye on that. But we can see this is getting ready to push into Lesbie. You're likely seeing the darkening skies now. We're seeing some heavy rain push through Prince Frederick, moving into St. Leonard, moving into Mechanicsville, Loveville, getting near Leonardtown. And we're seeing additional rain getting ready to move into parts of Cobb Island, getting near Avenue. Additional rain getting ready to move into Bushwood as well. Rechecking that velocity scan, we're not seeing really any concise areas of location. I've said that a lot, but just given the setup, it's important just to keep tabs on this right now. But aside from that, we're seeing lightning, and I see Mary saying thunder in Prince Frederick. I mean, we're seeing that right here. We're seeing the several lightning strikes as we get near the Prince Frederick area. We're seeing lots of lightning with the southern part of this line down towards Morganza, getting down towards Loveville. Let's see, Dreamer, please search anyone with boaters to get off the water. We had a distressed boat here yesterday with 2 kids aboard. Their engine quit and they were bailing water. We got them to safety, but this is moving quickly. It's getting dark in Leonardtown and Brenton Bay. Higgins Point area. Oh yeah, I mean, and that's one of the main concerns here. That's why I believe if we turn this layer on, where you see these blue polygons, that might be a little bit difficult to see. Let me see if I can't just alter that a little bit. But we do have several special marine warnings out, and I don't give these as much attention, as much as I should at least. I definitely should give them a little bit more attention than I do. And yeah, it's those bright blue polygons. They represent the special marine warnings. And these are the alerts that those out on the water do get. Yeah, there we go. That should allow us to see them a little bit better. We had those issued for all the Potomac, that lower portion of the Chesapeake Bay as well. Getting really dark now in California, getting dark near Brenton Bay, Gulf Course. Heading south, it's chasing me. Well, Mike, that you would be the reason we're looking at nasty weather pushing in then. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning now up for parts of the eastern shore, Dorchester County. That question came in about a half hour ago about what that region would be seeing. And we are seeing that brand new severe thunderstorm warning in effect, Dorchester County till 5 o'clock, hail up to 1 inch, wind getting up towards 60 miles an hour. And the entire line's going to continue to push southeast. It's not a well-defined line. It definitely isn't the line like yesterday, and these are pushing at a pretty good clip south and east. But let's take a look back at our chart cameras here. So this would be the Thomas Johnson Bridge camera. We can see the winds beginning to pick up a little bit. Dark skies out in the distance here over towards the Calvert County side. Taking a look at that Leonardtown camera, I'm sure is a little bit crazy. We're seeing some heavy rain pushing in. Over towards California, you can definitely see those dark skies pushing into the region. As well as over here down towards Lexington Park, down towards Callaway as well. We're beginning to note those dark clouds off in the distance. Taking us back to radar though. And actually, let's switch radar programs a little bit, get some variety, get this loop back together. This program makes it a little easier to loop the radar. You could just see the gradual direction of these storms has been, again, south and east, pushing through the region. La Plata, you're in the clear. Pope's Creek, you're in the clear. Mechanicsville, you're just about there. These storms are moving at a good clip. Behind them, there isn't much going on. Let's see, it's raining its butt off here in Mechanicsville, yeah. And we're seeing this push through Mechanicsville out towards Charlotte Hall, though you're clearing up a little bit. And we're now seeing rain really picking up from Prince Frederick, St. Leonard, Brooms Island, down towards Chesapeake Ranch Estates. This will be getting near Lexington Park here soon. And I would assume that the National Weather Service will issue an additional warning for the rest of Calvert and St. Mary's counties as these continue to push south and east. I'm a little surprised that this warning just wasn't taken all the way to the water initially, but I'm not the one who draws the warnings, but that's probably what I would have done in this instance. Getting us back over here, because this program allows us to get more town names. Let's see. Oh, snap. I left my decorative flags outside. Yeah, they'll dry someday. That's a good attitude to have, Melissa. Driving to Prince Frederick, and it's raining cats and dogs, and I'm sure they run up along either Route 4, 231, any of those roads there. I'm sure crazy. Dares Beach Road. Yeah, raining in Leonardtown. And we can really know that the bottom part of this storm here, getting into Leonardtown, we know, and really up in here through our back bays and creeks, lots of lightning, probably plenty of hail. If we take a look here at our mesh product again, this allows us to take a look at that mean estimated hail size. You can see that hail cord getting ready to move into Leonardtown right now, and that's why we're looking at a lot of additional lightning down that way, and we're looking at an additional area of rain getting ready to move into Cobb Island. Yeah, Donna's saying that the sun is back out in Charlotte Hall. These are moving pretty quick. But the updated storm track with this shows these storms, the core of this storm, pushing into Brooms Island pretty much now. And I think this timing might be a little off because it uses the core part of that, the core part of the storm. What I do want to do is just keep an eye on this Thomas Johnson. Just keep an eye on some of our cameras. I'm sure that they're going to be able to tell the story a little bit better than I can. See if we're getting anything. California, you can see the darkening skies down towards Lexington Park. Leonardtown, we can see that as well. Yeah, you can see that heavy rain. You can probably see a little bit of that hail too bouncing. And we've been noting that hail core traveling right into Leonardtown. Over towards the Benedict Bridge. We're getting a little better. These people are still out here though, so are they fishing? I'm not sure. I would assume maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, I mean, back over here towards like 301 Bridge, it's already beginning to clear up a little bit. Laney's saying that it's bright and sunny in Red Gate. Sorry, in Ridge right now. Yeah, I mean, you're out ahead of the storm, so you're on a completely different side of this. And maybe the worst of this will stay just to the north of you, but you'll probably still getting in on some activity. Made it through clear skies and sun in California, not for long. Yeah, Mike, it'll be... I mean, the storm's been chasing you the entire way south. I assume you took, 235, and that's really kind of been where the worst of this has been. And now we're seeing, I mean, a continual hail and lightning through the Leonardtown area. We're now seeing a lot of rain now pushing into Lesby, Solomon's, really south of Prince Frederick now as this continues to push south and east. We're looking at an additional area, part of the storm now beginning to push into Dorchester County, Cambridge, Church Creek, this area here over the next little bit. With decent sized hail. I mean, we're looking back up north here at a decent amount of hail. It looks like up to half-inch size near the Dares Beach area, Prince Frederick, Port Republic, just south of Willows and Huntingtown, getting near St. Leonard and Long and Calvert beaches. And then this will be pushing, again, towards Lesby, the Chesapeake Ranch Estates, Cove Point, Drum Point, down there towards Rousby Hall, Solomon's, and pushing over here into parts of St. Mary's County Park, Lexington Park, California, Great Mills, Callaway, all these areas are going to be seeing the rain coming up, but moving pretty quick back out west. You've already begun to see the clearing conditions as well. Yeah, getting dark in California. How big is the hail supposed to be? Wow, radar right now, Stephanie, is picking up on hail up to 1 inch in size. Let's take a look back at that mesh product, our mean estimated hail predictor. And it really does show that hail getting close to 1 inch in size, and this could be moving right into California as it pushes through Leonardtown. And you can see that really kind of correlates well here with that pink color on radar. Pouring right now at MedStar over in Leonardtown. That doesn't surprise me at all, Vicky. The way that these storms have been moving on. Yeah, behind this, not much is going on. Not much is going on. This will move through literally just about as quick as it blew in. Taking a look back at some of our traffic cameras, because it's just interesting to see how these change as these storms push in. You can see maybe a little bit of rain trying to fall. Take a look back to the California camera. You can see those darkening skies out along the way. Like the Lexington Park camera, 235, 237. Not much going on yet, but I am sure that this picture will begin to change as you see those dark clouds beginning to race south and east. And still waiting to see if we can get an extension here to this severe thunderstorm warning. For the rest, of our coverage on that's going to be seeing the impacts of the storm. My guess would be that it would likely be the rest of southern Calvert County and then the rest of southern St. Mary's County as these continue to push south and east. Let's get an updated storm track here for you. Continue to keep you just one step ahead of the storm. Let's just get the outer edge of all this. And we're pushing 116, yep, at 27. So this puts this Chesapeake Ranch Estates, it's essentially at your doorstep right now. Solomon's, it's at your doorstep right now. Pushing an election in Park, 3:15. Pushing into Park Hall at 4 o'clock. St. Mary's City just after 4, down towards Piney Point. And Dameron right around 4:10, 4:15 or so, and down towards Scotland by about 4:30. So this will continue to push south and eastward. So just because you're not in that severe thunderstorm warning right now does not mean you won't see this the nasty weather. Don is saying that it's starting to rain in California and Lexington Park. And Andrew wants to know, will Lesby see hail? I'm not sure if we'll see hail specifically in Lesby, given the way that our hail core has been, and we'll get another look at that here. Yeah, I mean, the core of the hail right now seems to be in Leonardtown, so given the direction of the storm moving southeast, it should stay just south of Calvert County. But we are noting that we are seeing hail upwards of just about an inch now, pushing right through Leonardtown, moving through the Brighton Bay area, then eventually getting down towards Callaway. And Philip says, sounds like good times. If storms are your jive, then this is definitely a good time for you. But the storm, I mean, gradually will begin to weaken. We're noting that a little bit. We've seen this lightning strike count come down a little bit. Initially had maxed out up near 60. Has come down a little bit now, down towards, at 12 right now, which is good news. But yeah, I mean, we're noting maybe the potential, like radar at least is trying to pick up on the potential for maybe a little bit of hail, up to half-inch size moving into St. Leonard, so maybe northern portions of Leslie up towards White Sands could potentially get in on that. We'll see if, yeah, I mean, radar isn't really picking up on much up that way. If we switch gears here just a little bit, you see this colored polygon here for parts of Westmoreland County. This is one of those special weather statements that's out, and this is the National Weather Service in Wakefield, Virginia, notifying that Westmoreland County could maybe get in on a little something, but much of this is staying to your north. No red weather alert in Great Mills yet, but it is dark. Yeah, a lot of nothing in Great Mills just yet. That warning is still just that one box, but these are all continuing to push south and east, and you will get in on the nasty weather as well as these storms continue to push south and eastward. Taking us back over, though, to our traffic cameras. Traffic continues to look fine on Thomas Johnson Bridge. Traffic looking fine. I'm looking at dry roadways even. Over here towards California, Lexington Park, I'm sure, is showing just the same thing. Leonardtown, I'm sure we're still seeing, that rain falling a little bit. Probably letting up a little bit, though, but you can see some of that ponding going on area roadways. But this is probably only going to last maybe 15, 20 minutes or so as this pushes through, and then we'll be all good to go once we get this out of here. And behind this, we're going to be turning cooler this evening. I believe lows, I haven't put together my forecast just yet, but likely dropping down into the lower 50s tonight. We're going to be looking at some increasing winds as well from the northwest, potentially up to 10 to 15 miles per hour at times as this continues, as the cold air works through as that cold front pushes through the region. Yeah, but this is pretty much what we're looking at. We'll stay live here since we have the warning out. There isn't much else to add from what I've already added. I know it kind of sounds like a little bit of a broken record here. Our velocity, we'll take a look at that just to get something new. Again, we're really not looking at any areas of rotation with this, not that I'm seeing at least. Lots of just, high winds with this, up to 50, 60 miles an hour. And radar, newest scan here continues to show we're looking at right in here where we see these dark red, these pinks, that's indicative of hail. We're seeing that continue to push through Leonardtown. And I am sure that any moment now our traffic cameras will begin to show the storm pushing in. Yeah, making to the adjustment into White Sands and Lesbian. Thank you for the comment, Aaron. One of those JB Weather originals, those OGs. I mean, yesterday we saw on this traffic network, we just saw those nasty storms push in, and those scenes were crazy. And you can see even here, looking at the Thomas Johnson Bridge camera, back over here towards the Calvert County side, you can see how it's not as bright. That's that heavy rain falling, and that's working south and east continuously. Over towards Leonardtown, still looking at some heavier rain. Looking over towards Lexington Park, not too much. Still waiting on this California camera. Yeah, you can start to see some of that rain begin to fall now out this way as well. We have no continuation with the severe thunderstorm warning just yet. Still waiting to see if we'll get one of those issued. I would suspect we would, but that remains to be seen. We'll see if a new orange polygon pops up. It looks like we just got an update to this severe thunderstorm warning at 3:51. It's 3:52 now. Severe thunderstorm was located over the Chesapeake Range Estates, moving east at 45 miles per hour. This warning continues till 4. So over the next 8 minutes, the storm continues to pack 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail with damaging winds and hail up to an inch in size. Beginning to get dark in Callaway. Yep, down here, and I'm happy. One day over the winter, I sat, and it took probably 3 hours because this program we use, the only town names that were loaded into the program here in Southern Maryland were Leonardtown and Lexington Park. So I sat through individually, and it took a lot of GIS work, but loaded in all of our individual town names. But doing that now, we can see where Callaway is for those that are not that familiar with the area. Seems like it just passed in Leonardtown. Not too bad. Just, yeah, and again, these storms are definitely not as bad as yesterday, and these aren't the worst storms we've ever seen. But they are back at least a little bit of a punch. As you note there, Rebecca, some gusty winds, and we are noting some hail as well. But that should be staying south of, let's say, moving through Leonardtown, moving into probably California, Lexington Park there. Maybe staying a little bit south of Pax River, or potentially maybe scraping by over towards that area. And yeah, as we take a look back to our traffic cameras, you can see the heavy rain really now moving in here into California. I'm sure at our Thomas Johnson Bridge camera, you can't even see the top part of the bridge anymore. And we got the heavy rain pushing in, those gusty winds as well. And yeah, we're beginning to see some wet roadways over here towards Lexington Park as well. But as many have begun to note, yeah, we're seeing some clearing now over towards Leonardtown. Let's see, awesome. Thank you, Will. I appreciate that. Just starting the Ranch Club. This could carry me away like Mary Poppins. That's funny, Stephanie. Let's get you back over here towards radar, though. But yeah, we're noting the heaviest of this is now pushing into southern parts of Calvert County, into St. Mary's County, continuing here to push down to the south and east, eventually moving here onto the eastern shore as after it crosses through the bay. But yeah, we're gonna continue to watch this, see what happens. But I think really by about, again, we've been saying this, by 5 o'clock, I think we should be all clear. We still don't have any update to the warning yet, so we might be all good to go here by 4 o'clock. Heavy rain in Leonardtown near the fairgrounds, yeah. I mean, we've seen that heavy rain, and we're really seeing that kind of now right there up along Route 5. Yeah, we're really seeing that heavy rain and a little bit of hail as well. Mayor's saying that the sun is already out in Prince Frederick, and not that long ago. I mean, this radar's a little weird to put into motion. But we can note, if we just back this up a little bit, I mean, we saw the heavy rain, 338, moving into Prince Frederick. We're noting how heavy the rain was, and now we're beginning to clear up. The same story up towards Huntingtown, same story in Dunkirk, and we're seeing that last little part move into through Bushwood, through Avenue as well. Raining in Hollywood. What would cause a tornado warning / watch? Will wants to know. That is so this storm will not produce a tornado. What tornado watch? That just tells us that we have the atmospheric conditions are right for a tornado to touch down somewhere. The way I like to think of this would be if we were to use cupcake watches and cupcake warnings. A cupcake watch would be if you have all the ingredients just laid out on the table, either flour, eggs, whatever, but they're not put together. We could potentially see a cupcake, right? But if we see those conditions come together and we actually see, a cupcake come out of the oven, that would be that cupcake warning now. And that would be, again, a tornado warning. It's issued either when we have a ground confirmation of a tornado or when rotation is strong enough on radar to indicate that a tornado is very likely or is very prone to drop. We don't see that right now on radar. And typically, and I've been checking this the last hour, almost hour and a half. This is what we call our velocity mode on radar. This allows us to see, A, how strong the winds are, but B, where they're moving. The green colors on this map indicate where winds are going towards the radar. The red colors indicate where winds are going away from the radar. Where you can get a tight couplet, we don't see any of those right now, but where you can get a tight couplet of the bright reds and the bright greens touching, indicating a lot of vertical shear, that's where we're able to see the potential for a tornado, and that's how we're able to get an idea about that. A little bit of a long-winded answer, but I hope that gives you an idea of that process. Where's the hail in the Leonardtown area? Let's take another look back at that mesh product, see where our hail core is moving through. Let that load up. And I'm not sure if it even wants... Well, let's make sure we even have hail in the first place. Yeah, I mean, right now, so yeah, we're not seeing any color on this map, which indicates the radar is not picking up on any hail at the moment, which would be great news. Yeah, we're not really seeing any of that right now. I mean, if we have any hail, it's going to be right through this bit, moving into Callaway, Lexington Park, potentially up to a ½ inch in size, but that part of the storm looks to be weakening as well. See, Catherine just had a tree fall on the house in Callaway. Please be careful, Catherine, out there. Yeah, Callaway, that's where you're getting some of those gusty winds. It's here in Great Mills. And yeah, that rain and wind moving into the Lesby area. And yes, it looks like the hail has gone away for the time being. These storms are beginning to weaken a little bit as they're beginning to lose a little bit of their steam. And we'll see again if this severe thunderstorm warning does get extended. If it does, we'll see if it where it gets extended to. It does come. It is scheduled to expire here at 4 o'clock, and if that expires, we'll be all good to go here. Let's take a look at some of our traffic cameras, though. Gives you a good idea. This is Lexington Park, 235 and 237. You can see the rain there causing ponding there in the middle of the intersection. Over towards California, we're seeing the evening commute is well and alive on Route 4, 235. You can see that we're looking at some rain over towards the Thomas Johnson Bridge. You can see the cloud or the trees moving around. You can't even see the crest of the bridge because of the rain. As the sun is shining over towards Compton. Of course, Foo. Let's see. Yeah, hands, of course. Plants are drowning this week. Don't worry, Stephanie. We will have a day to dry out tomorrow. Additional rain is going to be possible, though, as we head over towards Friday. I'll have that full forecast up this evening. But then after that, we should begin to dry out a little bit. It's going to be cool, though, as we head into the weekend. And it looks like our severe thunderstorm warning has indeed been allowed to expire right now. And it doesn't look like we're going to get a new one issued, which is good news. So we're going to continue to see these storms move here to the south and east. These should clear the region by 5 o'clock down there in southern St. Mary's County. These storms are moving pretty quick, though, over towards Lesby and the Chesapeake Ranch Estates. This should begin to clear up here over the next little bit, probably in about the next 10-15 minutes. That sun should be back out. Cooler conditions moving in, though, and we'll continue to see those gusty winds kind of try to stick around as that delivers the cooler air behind this cold front, and the cold front is right where these storms are located. But thank you for joining me for the last hour and a half. It's been fun, and yeah, I'm going to get on with the rest of my day. But thank you for joining me. I'm lead forecaster John Bordash. Keep watching here to JB Weather. I continue to keep you updated with the latest forecasts and alerts delivered everywhere you're able to get forecasts. Facebook, Twitter, even over on Instagram at JB Weather. So stay tuned. I'll continue to keep you updated. But until next time, have a nice and safe one. And keep it tuned right